American Airlines Flight 17 flew into history this morning in a party mood. Free fedora hats for the passengers marked the opening of a new air bridge between the capital of Cuba and the capital of the Cuban diaspora. Americans still can't travel as tourists to Cuba, but there are 12 other reasons the U.S. government accepts for traveling that, taken together, are so broad pretty much anyone can now get on this plane.
We want to get out and meet people and understand the people, the culture, the government, their thoughts. We saw it from the other end growing up, from the Cubans in Florida. We'd like to see it directly.
It's only an hour's flight from Miami to Havana, two cities that are closer than Ottawa and Toronto. But Captain Kevin Mace knows he's crossing a divide far bigger than the Florida Strait.
Well, it's obviously been many years before we've been able to bring a scheduled air service back to Cuba. Very pleased to be the crew of the first flight to the capital city, Havana.
Today's flight was part of the normalization of relations between Cuba and the United States, begun 2 years ago by President Obama. But just minutes after landing in Havana, out came that Trump tweet threatening to terminate the deal. One strong Trump supporter on the plane says he hopes the new president changes his mind.
I'm believing that people behind the scenes are going to advise him correctly on a lot of things, including the proper stance on immigration.
But not everyone agrees. Cubans in Miami continue to celebrate the demise of Fidel, and many believe it was a mistake to open new channels to Cuba without bigger concessions on political reform. And that mistrust was reflected on today's flight, where only about a third of the passengers appeared to be Cuban Americans. Many are still barred from returning here to visit, and even those who could often don't trust the Cuban government enough to come. Evan Dyer, CBC News, Havana.